Hello, I'm Will Forge, and today we will forge. Oh man, it's so weird ever since Unreal Engine Fortnite popped up with their tool set and everything, and that they're gonna pay people. It has been so weird and so hard to follow what's gonna happen next. Because I don't know if you know this, but they went and have I was just saying about the Unreal Engine Fortnite. They went and had they're having some trouble with their stuff that's going on. Okay, so I had done some glass and lava. I might actually put this aside and go do another area of the map that's a little simpler, easier, because at least I got the sand to work properly and it feels a little bit more normal here. Let's see. But yeah, the Unreal Engine Fortnite thing. They're paying people. They want to pay people, and because they want to pay people, it's causing problems because they can't just go out and pay people without limiting what they're allowed to make, and that's that's throwing people off. People are not expecting that. People were for some reason expecting it to just, I guess, continue to allow them to make like copies of copyrighted like Call of Duty maps and then put that on their up onto the server for Unreal Engine and get away with it, and that was never going to be the case. So it didn't make any sense that they would consider that to expect that. But anyway, so we're going to set up a light here. Light range. Let's see, inner cone's going to be very wide, outer cone's going to be wide as well. Intensity, actually, yeah, if the outer cone is all the way max, it'll shine lights on you as you walk past, which is good. That's what we want. And we're going to want a gobo. We're going to want a, let's see, blinds, caustic large. Is that what I think it is? Where's a good place to put this? Yeah, that would definitely be good. Caustic fast, clouds, Craig, fan, slow, fixture, fluorescent, galaxy, crate, or sorry, great grid, mirror ball, mirrored. Okay, so I think round light, searchlight, square, strip, turbines, UNSC, work light. I had just had that thought about Unreal Engine Fortnite before I even started, so yeah. Oh, so what I'm doing right now is I'm currently working still in my map, but I will probably be switching over to another map in the coming weeks at some point. Not guaranteed yet, but right now that's what I'm thinking about doing. The reason being because let's see, where's mist? The reason being because I really like working on this map, but I'm going to put it aside temporarily, and whenever I get back into it, I'll be able to. I'm going to do it a little bit off stream rather, because a lot of this stuff, especially this area in particular, is a little weird to watch. I think. Where's my fog and also my fire that is making that sound? Yeah, I think I'm having a problem with the effects. I think it's trying to load them based off of distance, and as long as I'm on that side of this lava, for example, or even too close to it, it's trying to load in the waterfalls on the opposite side of the map or something to that effect. I think what I need to do is set one up to prioritize. Is this a distance issue? Can I work around this by shifting how I have this little design before I get too far into the side? Like if I move the lava a little bit farther away, for example, then I might be able to make that not happen. Let's see, let's set this intensity to like 15. And then the fog that we just put in there, the cone, sorry, mist. Oh, that was the intensity we just set to 15. I thought I set the, that should be on. I thought I set this to 15. There we go. It's a little brighter. The mist should be, is it smoke that I'm looking for? I think it's mist, but the intensity must need to be higher or something, because I'm not seeing it at all. Okay, is there something weird going on with special effects? No, it's just too low. I see. It's down a little lower. There we go. Okay. So I don't want this to actually have the mist. I'm looking at it and I'm realizing that what I probably want is actually something like light rays. Move them down low, right? Like that, so that it looks like a bit of a glow in my lava, right? And then what I want to do is put a second light that's going to create just a smoke cloud that's going to be pitch black smoke. So it's going to have black light. So that's where we come back in here. We'll turn on some dynamic shadows, but I think I'm going to turn off the parent light anyway. So black light, enable parent light off, type misty. Mist or misty? I think it's mist. Right? Let's see. Make some really intense mist. Still not seeing it. That's kind of weird. Oh, right. Spotlight. We'll tell it where to go properly. Maybe it's the black. Yep, there it is. I was hoping to be able to use that, but I think a deep red might be necessary. No, if I go with a darker color, it ends up being like drowned out. I was hoping a dark, maybe a dust cloud. Maybe the other options are more visible. Let's see. Cloudy, cloudy wide, light rays, medium with, so mist is what I want, but like, okay, what if I change the intensity to even higher, super high, oh, what, 50, is 20 the highest? Oh, 20 is the highest apparently, I just typed in 20, I didn't expect that to be highest, and then we can put the mist down here. And then do a length and width of, we'll go with, yeah, 60 in both directions. Instead, I might do 2 of these. No, that's not bad. Make sure I'm centered. And then, ooh, right through the map. Bit of a haze above it. Wish that was darker gray instead of so light. Effects are starting to pile up, and that's a problem. Like, I've already got a bunch of effects in here. One of the things that's in the middle of the map that are effects that are affecting the budget in like all other areas of the map are these beams. Because I'm going to have only 6 of these as soon as I can scale them, but right now I've got, 12 of them. I also have beams inside of these. When did that happen? Oh, they're not loading in. Yeah, I'm starting to have a problem with too many effects. We've got beams inside of all of these, which is a problem, apparently. Yeah. So what I might do is actually delete the ones up top for now, because they don't need to be here. Because it's never going to be these. once I'm pretty sure this map is going to. It might take until we have the ability to publish, or I mean to scale effects before it will allow me to. Before I should be publishing this one. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna remove these from the prefab. And whenever I can scale the beams that have a ball on both ends. I need to see if it's notifying people in my Discord, because it didn't last time. No, it did this time. Okay, good. Whew. Let's see. Let's put that down. Okay, cool. Back to this. So, trying to solve this little effects problem. Like I was saying before, like on previous stream, on Waterworks I didn't have this problem. So I don't know if I block line of sight, if it will register that these two things are not able to see each other. And just say, okay, fine, don't worry about it. I'll load them in anyway. You know what I mean? So that doesn't look quite as cool, but whenever I can scale them, like I said, it'll look better. I probably won't use one of these. I'll probably use the actual beam that has balls on both ends, that look like it's being emitted from both ends. Do I have any other effects that I can cut back on real quick? These two effects are the most important ones in this middle area. I think that even if I got rid of these and just allowed fusion coils to just shoot up through the tube invisibly, I don't think it would be a problem. There's like 5 effects on each of these towers, but there's also an effect up at the top that fires off every now and then that may not even be visible. I'll actually scale it up whenever I can scale, but like because of the distance effect, like what do you call it, effects just disappear eventually whenever you get far enough away, and I don't know if that's even gonna fire up there. Probably will, but like you just go poof, a little puff of smoke. It's not really super important. See, there you go. It just appears every now and then. So it's kind of mostly there for people who are flying around at the moment. But I was going to scale it up, make it look a little better. So, I don't know, maybe. We've got some lava here, which appears to finally be looking a little good. It's not. It's just starting to. I mean, I'm not done yet. Let's see. Spotlight. Okay. If we let's bring this inner cone a little bit wider, and bring up the source size so if I have any, I won't have any fog problems. And let's see. Shadow start distance should be 0.1. That way I can now copy this and this one and move them over here. Except that this one can actually be a little bit tilted. And shine just at the bottom of this lip. I don't want it to go up there, but just on the bottom like that. Looks pretty good. So I have all these like lightning plasma effects over here, and they might be too much. Might have to limit it down to just one of them whenever I can scale. I'm also looking at these beams, and I'm wondering if there's a way to do these cheaper. Like obviously I have that electricity in the middle. Go over to this one so it's farther away from everything else. Is it my waterfall that's just overdoing it? Or all the steam over here as well? Like I might just have too many waterfalls over here. Cause like, man, it is really freaking out. Whew. We'll figure it out. But, anyway. Very cool. Okay. So, let's see. Let's go over here and figure out how to do this glass lava thing I'm trying over here. Why is that not loading? Like, there's textures not loading in. Let me try and go in like this and see if that'll help that load. And see what the effects do once I'm actually in the game, in the map. It sort of corrects how it handles them, then that'd be great. Yeah, well, the textures definitely didn't load differently. Okay, so they're loading in whenever I'm standing over here. Got lighting up here, lighting there and there. And I've got fire. No fire. Okay, I have some of the fire. They're like cinders coming up, no smoke. It's definitely hurting me whenever I go into it. There it is. There's my fire. Okay, well. What if I move this down into this area? And delete this one so that I have electricity coursing down here. It supposedly is an electricity ball. Did I go too far down? Plasma energy large. Oh, did I delete the wrong one? Because I remember it was, which one was which? We got all messed up whenever I was trying to work on it, so, yeah. I'm gonna assume that I did that. I grabbed the wrong one. I think I might have too much of the glass. And then I need more lava rock in the middle. And possibly up against that side. Which I was thinking about putting lava rock right here anyway, because of that transition there. So that's what I'm going to do. Biomes. Space rock. Let's see. That's kind of cool. That comes out of a ramp. That is a little bit different from what the other side is like, though. But if this ramp was, you know, let's see. Yeah, you could make your way up here via this ramp. Which over here I don't believe has an equivalent. Oh no, it's got a ramp right about there. Yeah, it's right there. So if I put an actual ramp on this side, and just have this lava rock here, then that would work. Looks pretty good. I wonder if I can add char to this. No, it's TI. It inherits terrain, so there's no hope for that. I don't think I can even put this here anyway, though, because of how much it's burying that. This is garbage. This was an attempt, but it wasn't really what I was going for. I'm also realizing I'm going to need more effects if I want to do lava, like, at all up here. Is the lava on this level not worth it? Should I do another biome? The effects are very expensive. I mean, there's a lot of them. And I hadn't even finished over here. I was planning on putting another waterfall in the back. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Very difficult. Very hard to say. Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna work on this side. I'm gonna figure that out off stream so I can actually make a decision. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and work over here. We're gonna go back to Tidal Rock and we're gonna set ourselves up with something that will work very nicely for this area. So we're gonna set this up over here. I like this one as a sort of ramp into this area where we can then, I'm gonna have to scale it up a bit. And then we're gonna make a little pool down here. I'm beginning to think that I might have to make the waterfall pit come out and go down if I do this, so maybe that's not ideal. I'll be in and out because laptop's set up. Oh, nice. You got your new laptop. That's cool. Let's see. Yeah, that's too steep to use the ramp. Well, not quite. Okay, cool. That'll work. But yeah, this water would just splash right off of that and then come down to the lake. So what I want to do... what I might have to do for this is actually redesign this a little bit. If I make this a little shorter, then you could go up underneath it behind the waterfall as like a little hidden path. I could put a rock alongside it here and then put a little tunnel going that way, and then you could jump through the waterfall if you wanted to. I think the idea is to make people want to hop through the waterfall, you know? So let's see about... let's see about a good... sort of flattish, natural looking rock. Kind of creates grooves going out toward the rest of the area. Something that doesn't bury the door behind its frame. Let's see. Guess I gotta go basically flat. That looks okay. Alright, so this is what we're looking at, so I'd be able to put like a weapon pad right there, or on the ground. And then the rocks, let's see. So then what I would need to do is... definitely raise this up just a slight bit. Hey, Unseen Halo, how's it going? Long time no see. That's supposed to be a pun for your name. Let's see. This means I can move this. Oh wait, that's the other waterfall. No, never mind. Don't want to look at that. Okay, so we've got our waterfall going. The question is, so there's two ways I could do this. There's the way, one way is I make the waterfall flow over the edge of this rock, which is going to be very difficult because waterfalls are not that easy to make right now. Water volumes, especially not running water volumes, are not easy, and they're expensive. And I'm already, as you can see, running out of effects. What type of map you building? So I'm building a map that's like its own custom game mode, where it's two sides going up against each other, like an objective mode at the beginning, that then turns into a Slayer mode later on. And the way it works is, you're going to have this main base, and you're going to be tasked with going out and finding fusion coils spawning there, and there, bringing them back to your base and charging up your team's power level. As your team's power level charges up, you get closer and closer to unlocking these side buildings, and this one, for example, which are going to rise up out of the ground about halfway through the map, and it's going to switch to Slayer mode. The other way you can get power is through these towers. If you go up and capture them like you capture the hill zone, then that's one more point for you. That's more energy for your team, and you're closer to unlocking these buildings to come up. So that's the plan. Right now, visually though, it's going to be like a desert where it's going to be these, fairly plain. This is closer to what it will probably look like in this little area here for the desert, but I'm going to add more interesting things here and there. Anyway, throughout the desert, like trees and stuff. But, and then there's going to be these little pockets of terrain, like this one, which are going to be like the ring is trying to re-terraform itself, because this area is not supposed to be a desert. It's supposed to be, part of the actual Halo array, but that thing breaking caused the environment here to be wrecked. It turned into an enormous desert almost overnight. The atmosphere is so thin, it's like practically non-existent compared to a normal ring, so that the sky isn't even blue anymore. You just see this haze, and the ring is what's keeping plants alive by providing oxygen and water to areas. This area was going to be like a broken one that was creating plasma arcing over here, creating this, desert glass from plasma and lava pools. But I was having a little trouble over there, so I figured I'd do it off stream and figure out my details there before I keep going. Over here, I was kind of, much closer to being finished. The steam clouds, I just realized that I'm going to be able to scale those up and actually delete 3 of them. There's 6 of them, but I can scale them this way whenever they do scalable effects, and then I can delete the other one. And then a bunch of other stuff. So far, it sounds awesome. Reminds me of that Warbound on Argonaut map. I hope they bring a new experience and stuff like this to matchmaking too someday. The map idea seems cool too. Thanks. I forgot you can scale effects. Nice. You can't yet. You can soon though. You'll be able to scale effects whenever I think season 4 is their target for when they're planning on releasing that. But that's not a guarantee, because it's who knows. But you will be able to soon. And whenever you can, I'm going to be able to reduce the price of a lot of this stuff. This little beam up here, I think I might have to turn off. It's not even useful until it's scalable anyway. And I can find out if I can put it back in later. Because here's my problem. What I'm running into is, like, whenever I go over here, there is fire effects right there in that little tiny glow, and all you can see is sort of the embers. But if you back up, it'll like appear. And I think that's because it's trying to do the waterfall, and like this is the range away from the waterfall before it completely despawns the waterfall and stops trying to render it. But then like you get just a little bit closer to this fire and it just vanishes. Just sort of stops appearing. It'll hurt you still. Oh well, it was hurting me earlier, but it's not even hurting me now. So yeah, I think it's oh, was that the floor lightning that was hurting me? Yeah, probably. It probably wasn't the fire. But like, yeah, so I'm running into a major problem where effects are not like, working out for me, which means I'm gonna have to delete these. But yeah, I hate when effects don't appear right. Yeah, I think I'm overwhelming the system with too many effects around the map. These 6 could probably be deleted because they're not entirely necessary. You're going to see fusion coils shoot up through this tube anyway, so it's going to tell you what's happening. These beams right here, I'm going to be able to scale up eventually, but I'm going to replace them with the other kind of beam that has a ball on both ends. And whenever they can scale up, they're going to go up to that light where I deleted the other side of the beam. These 4, I'm thinking about maybe, I don't even know what to do to reduce these, but I'm thinking that I might be able to figure out a way. FX won't hurt you in test mode. I find the 4x4 water splash effects plus the drip effects mashed together and make a much more convincing waterfall. Just my opinion though. It still looks good. They are here. Those are here though. That's the problem. They're not loading in either. That's what all these little triangles are. And the water coming down is so that whenever you jump through it, you'll see some kind of, you know, actual water there, water-looking thing. The energy barriers, I mean, or what are supposed to do that. So that's the problem, is that this is supposed to have really good water flow. Let's see if I go a little farther away. So I think I'm hitting a problem where I've got too many effects in the map, because they're all freaking each other out. So I'm going to delete the ones that aren't entirely necessary. Like these beams are cool, but having 4 of them around. Ooh, this one's already broken apart. These are a little bit unnecessary. In fact, I don't even know if I would want this one shooting a beam because of the idea behind it. I just deleted the entire tower instead of removing it and then deleting just it. So, whoop, did I just undo turning that back into a prefab? Oh shoot. I want this to be a prefab. I would rather do that little bit of work again and keep this as a prefab without having to reselect everything than have to do that again. Anyway, I hit the wrong button whenever I went to delete it. So, let's see. Let's remove this. No, not that. This. So, that should help because it's fewer effects. Let's see if that's enough to make the fire at least start to appear. Nope, not so much. And let's go check the waterfall, see if it's got more water. Hey, it's got more water now. So I am right at the cusp of it, and I'm, well, the water disappeared. Yeah. That's weird. So, I don't know if it's maybe that it's not just that I have too many. It might be because of a combination of specific ones, because, like, it seems to work better when I'm farther away. Or maybe this season broke effects in some way. Are you guys aware of anything like that? Because, like, it starts and then just stops. And that's really weird. Are they just taking turns? You can't delete an object for just one player. Otherwise, I'd just make a little script that says if you walk into this area, delete all the ones on the other side of the map for you. But that's not really something that can happen. Like a stop rendering. And obviously this corner needs to be fixed, but yeah. Ugh. Yeah. For some reason, it's like I move location and it just suddenly disappears. It's really weird. I don't understand it at all. It might be a bug, because I actually did just start seeing it right whenever the update came out. Maybe I need to reinstall my game. But if you guys are seeing the same thing, then and it's just about the number of them, I would put an edge to the running water up above the door and delete the energy barriers that go down over the door. Do what? Put an edge to the running water up above the door. Delete the energy barriers going down over the door. And just have the waterfalls, what you're saying? Like just the splashes. But yeah. Yeah, okay. The question is if I can even get these splashes to start loading. Is it that do you think that if I deleted some of the effects in the area, like some of the splashes or something like that, that the other ones will start rendering? Or do you think that that would be detrimental and I should just focus on building today and then afterward uninstall the game and reinstall it to see if it'll like clear whatever weird effect thing is happening right here? Because I know they're adding the ability to you know, all that stuff that I was saying before, because they're adding the ability to scale effects and they're adding the ability to and all that stuff. It's possible that they're just cap off the edge of this water really quick. It's possible that one of the problems is just that they're breaking them temporarily to some extent, and that you can't have as many of them on the screen. Because I do have a low-end graphics card. Let me see, actually. Let me see my graphics settings. Whoop, not leave. Video. See, I've got min-spec graphics cards. Let's see. Texture, reflections, cloud, dynamic wind. Actually wanted that on higher because it doesn't even change my VRAM usage. So, ground cover quality, effects quality, decal quality, animation quality, terrain quality simulation. Sandbox operations such as vehicle suspension systems and vehicle... Okay, flocking quality. So I could probably go a little higher on some of these because, like, as you can see, it's barely affecting my thing. Decal quality. We'll go high on that one because I've seen that the decals have trouble. The 4x4 splash effects have a better draw distance and take up a bit more space. I don't know what size you're using. I'm just saying, lol. So you don't have to use so many. Yeah. Effects quality. Is this it? Quality of complexity of effects such as explosions and dynamic lights. Lower quality may disable non-essential effects to maintain performance. Requires restart. See changes take effect. Ah. Okay. It might be my settings. Hold on. I have settings lower than Xbox Series S, so in that regard, apparently. I used to have it higher, but during one of the seasons, whenever there was all the network issues, I brought it down, and I think I just never... let me close the game and come back in. I think I just never went back to having proper settings, because I had it, like, really close to that edge, you know, right at that line where it said that it's too much, you know, and it'll overload your system. And I was like, okay, fine. So I brought it way down to, like, halfway to that system, as y'all saw, and I think that maybe I could bring it back up at this point. And I've been streaming with that lower quality graphics this whole time, so I just wish you could turn the sound off on them because they start to loop over each other, and it's quite annoying when you're wearing headphones. Ah, yeah. I mean, if it could just, like, if they could offset the loop just slightly, so that it just sounded like really complex rushing water, you know, just like a constant, you know, riverbed going with, like, rapids, then that might be a cool thing, but... unfortunately, they're all the same, and then you can't offset the loop so that the same trickle sound happens at different times. But yeah. Are your eyes, Aaron, because of my low graphics settings and how I might be able to bring up the quality level of the stream, like, just like that? Because, yeah, that might be the case. But yeah, I wish that they would do something like that. I feel that. No. Oh, what are you? What is it? What are the eyes for? Was it for something else in my map settings or something? What's up? Or was it about that sound effects? Wanting to be able to turn off the sound effects? Because I agree. I feel like there's like energy barriers and things like that that I wish you could turn off too. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Maybe my effects will fix this way, and I won't need to delete a whole bunch. Laptop setup almost. Oh, okay, cool. That was you commenting on your new laptop, basically, or something like that. Nice. It'll be a lot easier to do chat that way. Let's see. Okay. So we've got... That's weird. I baked the lighting, but for some reason that object doesn't have a shadow anymore. Might have to rebake it again. Okay, so is that fixing anything? Not at all, it appears. So unless I can, unless there's another setting. Do I have two rapids here, or one of these the water? One of these is probably the water. But it is weird that I've got two here. Energy barrier. Let's see, is this... Oh, that's right, they are like right next to each other. It's double layered energy barrier, right. This problem maybe did start around the time I placed my second energy barrier. Maybe there's some weird like glitch happening because they're so close together. You know what I mean? Maybe I set them too close. But it could just be because I was putting more objects. But anyway. Okay, so... let's go to settings, video... and see if I missed something. Texture quality, geometry quality, reflection, depth of field. Let's see. Quality. presets. Let's see, anti-aliasing, volumetric fog quality, cloud quality, dynamic wind. Yeah, I think that is just it. Effects, decal, animation quality. I mean, this could be... Is this just for people, or are there animation of effects as well? Because quality of smoothness of character animations does not affect animations for your character, for your own character. When set to auto quality, it's based on your CPU. When set to max, it forces maximum quality regardless of hardware. Terrain quality. Yeah. Sandbox operations, such as vehicle suspension systems. Yeah. I'll go to Ultra, but I think that's literally just vehicles and weapons. Flocking quality. What is this? Set whether to execute compute work in parallel with graphics work on GPUs that support it. I mean, if my GPU supports it, I don't know if that, you know. Okay, yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do anything to make them work as they are. Wonder if I could load someone else into the map. If like one of you guys could load into the map. Let me see if my... I think I left my thing open again, now that I think about it. Because I didn't change it. Yeah, mine's set to friends only. If anybody wants to jump in and come take a look at this and see if the waterfalls are working on your side. Like we did in Waterworks with the, something that wasn't working on my... Oh, there's the sound effects. Yeah. That might work. That might tell us. But, before I start deleting things, I wanna verify something like that, you know. But yeah, because next I was gonna put a lake down here, and if I have to add more effects, that's not gonna work. If I can't put a lake, what I'm gonna put is a grate right here, like a waterfall grate, and then like soil down here that's like growing plants, like nice good soil. That way it'll look like the water is sort of going down into a grate and then being distributed into the soil. Without having to be a natural lake there. But, yeah. Like a little, what do you call it? Little walkway with some, what do you call it? They've got a piece that's like shutters. I can put the shutters right there to make it look like a grate. But anyway. Anybody who can hop in, please let me know, because I would love to see. I'd love to hear if it's working on your end, and just not on my end, because then that'll tell me immediately that I need to reinstall the game again. But let's see. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna have to do not water, unless. This is one of those things where if we were at Season 4, I'd have the water already and I could just see if the water works. You know, it's just regular water, and that was not intentionally a joke about Waterworks. Let's see. Where is it? I think it's in UNSC. Or is it in Ducts? There's the cap and the cover. One of these had, like, vents. I really wish that they would... Oh, it's this one. Yeah, there we go. So you can, for example... Whoop, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to do a snapping. You could, for example, put this down here, and then make it wide, and then put glass above it, so that it looks like there's water, and also, or team blocker rather, above it, so that you can walk across it without it being a problem. And bring the rocks out so they don't... Oop, now I need to get rid of my snapping. I'm so glad they fixed snapping with the latest update. That was very important. Let's see, here we go, and then I can drag this back, which also might need to be rotated to have a flatter edge up against it, like this. There we go. Okay. There's kind of a hole there, not too bad, I can fix that if I need to, but it'd be hitting the grate now. Oops, which is decent. Actually, if I put the glass, it would look like there's water pooling up from it hitting the sides. Or I can stretch it further and make it just the grates. I've done something like this in Reach with one map. If you guys remember seeing that right before Season 3 launched, I went and showed it off. How that one looked. Let's see. But yeah, if I put a little bit of glass down there, let's see how this walks across. Yeah, it's very bumpy. And you can fall into it and get all annoying. So I'm thinking that, let's see, just gotta install the stuffs. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a bump up whenever you hit the lip. So now the bump is still there. Yeah, if I put a glass there, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm just gonna copy this one. And resets rotation, which is not a bad rotation, looks good. And then just bring it up like this. Like it's falling too fast for the grate to really empty it fast enough, you know what I mean? Is the idea. And then bring this out this way. And there's not any splash of it hitting that water. So it looks a little bit funny. But if I rearrange how my waterfall splashing works, then this would work. And now it's not too bumpy. It feels like you're stepping into something, but that you're a super soldier, and so you just account for it really quickly. Okay, sometimes going inward and then hitting that rock right there is a problem, so... Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. The exact opposite of what I was trying to do. I think what I need to do is come down here and maybe scale it this way to give myself a flatter edge. Still a little bit of a bump. Nope, it's fine. It's working better now. Okay, haven't used a computer in 3 years. Really? That's crazy. I don't think I've ever gone any of my life without using a computer. Okay, so I need to move the whole thing up now that's all like lined up together. So that it fits with the doorway. And there's a bit of a problem. It doesn't fit with the doorway. So I'm gonna have to align it more like that. And just make it look like the door's been a little bit buried in mud. And I'm going to probably put something over here and over there to sort of create a transition in the material, I mean the structure, because it looks kind of just like things clipping together right now. But if I make something that's a little bit more intentional looking, then that would work out pretty well. Well, I haven't used a computer in that many years. I also need to switch this to Forerunner metals. Let's do that for real quick, because that's going to be important. Just never needed to, basically, all this time, since like school or something like that. Let's see. Or something to that effect. Okay, so that's standard Forerunner metal. Let's try some other stuff. Let's floor grading. That doesn't look bad. Panel A. This is something that I've noticed, is that it's doing this now. Whenever you try to change textures, you have to like go in and... No, it's still not even working. Oh boy. Shoot. Yep, it broke. Will it do it? Will it work if I come back in? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so basically what's happening is you have to go out and go back in every single time you want to try a new texture on something. This isn't bad. I kind of like this. Let's see. What up, Will? You're crushing this map. It's looking great. Thanks. Let's see. This laptop gave me 3 months of Ultimate, so that's pretty gaming if I do say so myself. Yeah, I agree. Is that that's the Xbox, right? Ultimate? Or is Ultimate one of the other ones thing? I think it's Ultimate. I think it's Xbox, right? Yeah. I'm liking the map so far. I just hope that I don't, you know, run out of effects Like the way that it's doing it is, the way it's bugging out is really weird. I kind of like how that's reflecting. Look at that. That's kind of cool. I assume that's the tree that's causing that, and I like that. Looks really nice. Okay. Oh, this is still frosty, isn't it? Let's fix that really quick. Yeah, snowman snow. We need like mud. Let's see. Up from S to get to M. Yeah, Xbox Ultimate. Nice. So now you can try the streaming to your laptop. Oh geez, it's doing that thing again. So basically every single time you go to change your textures, you have to back out and go back in, or at least I'm having to. And that might be another bug. And if I don't do that, then as you guys are seeing, it was... Oh, weird. What's happening here? This got shifted. Or something. Alright. Oh, rotation is weird. Jesus. I'm just gonna keep the rotation weird, I think. It's not so weird that you can see it. No, you can. Look, it's poking out down here, but it's not up here. Okay. Somehow the rotation got messed up. And I don't know how. I assume it was whenever I moved all of them at one time, but like... Fortunately, the rest of this was all natural. And, except for this, which is, like this in the Forerunner, the hexes. And the hexes were, you know, fine. There we go. Much better. I might move the waterfall slightly out. Especially if I, have them going straight down. I feel like they might go, from inertia. They might keep going at an angle. It might be better to do it that way. So the splashes are all like going out at like a nice angle, but these I think are going a little bit too... Let me go like 1 degree that way. And then slide it out. Touch. Just barely touch. If I can actually see it, that would be great. There we go. Oof. Right, that changed height as well. Oh, wait, there we go. That works. But, yeah, no, it changed height. I need to get down a bit. Okay. I actually like what Xbox is doing with the, streaming games. I actually thought that they were going to do that on, I've been thinking that Nintendo needed to do that for a long time. Yesterday's update somewhat fixed Forge. It did in some ways, Mr. Studio, but the downside is it also broke Forge in some ways, as usual. And I want to see if you guys don't see the same problem, because okay, this is how it broke Forge. I'll just place a new object so I can just mess with it. Okay, so basically, if you go in here to change your swatch. Your region. Let's say I wanted this to be metal brass worn, right? And then I go over to the right. It's gonna say metal brush, but it's gonna go back to the other one. And then I go to the right again, metal brushed, like B or whatever. And I just keep on going to the right, and you can see the name changing in the top left corner, and it has nothing to do with these two. And yet it's just switching back and forth between these two. Ooh, one of them reset it. And then eventually it resets. And it might be a server thing. Okay. Y'all saw how eventually it fixed itself. I'm thinking that it's a lag thing. That it's going to do that for a while. And then after a couple of seconds, it updates with the server. Or it's once you get a certain distance away. You know what I mean? A certain distance from the original. Paint thick. What is this? I don't think I've ever seen this striped paint before. Huh. Oh, it's just doing a paint thick, though. This is paint striped medium. Weird. Anyway, the point is that, yeah, there's some weird bugs going on with texture selection, but there are ways of getting around it. You just gotta keep fiddling with it until it fixes itself, essentially. Let's change this to mud, because apparently I missed this piece. Whenever I changed everything else to mud. We'll go with mud A. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Gosh, that texture is not loading in correctly. I'm also seeing that a lot. Where, let's see if the other one is still doing it. There is a terrain over here that as of a couple minutes ago, yeah, this was making a very, you know, low resolution image look to it. I added some stuff to the lava, but I don't know if it's quite there yet. The fire is visible on this side. Let's see if it's visible on this side now because of the special effects I deleted. Nope. Still not visible on this side. You have to get over to here. So, like, yeah, I don't know. The waterfall is definitely very expensive. But we're getting close to being able to... Hey, look, the waterfall's loading in correctly for a second. And now it's all gone. I think they have some kind of code for prioritizing effects that's breaking because they're slowly adding in the ability to scale effects. And I think that's because, like, you would have to do that. Like, let's say you made an effect that you scaled up really big so that everyone can see it on the map everywhere, right? That means the distance to the center point of that effect needs to not be when it deletes. Otherwise, you know, you get out to the edge of the map and maybe it's something up there and it would just delete and you wouldn't be able to see it anymore. And you built it, you scaled it up that big just so that you could see it. So then they have to make the distance between for when it gets culled, gets deleted. They'd have to increase that distance whenever you scale up your effects. So if they're changing how the effects are deleting, but it's not finished, then we would see bugs like this. We would see things where effects are now no longer... It's like this thing's scale is set to null or something like that, so then whenever I go away, it's like not scaling correctly. And it might not be that it's normally visible, it might be that it's only visible whenever you overdo it and have too many effects. But anyway, just talking, I guess, at that point. I don't really need to be saying all that, I guess, but okay, we're gonna do some terrain down here. Here's my question. Should I do... obviously I'm going to do not the inheritance. I don't want it to be desert. Thinking the terrain rugged is once again the goat, and that's what I'm going to go with. Jeez, I built that really far underground. But I want it to be kind of muddy, and I think I'm going to angle it some in one of the valleys intentionally. You know? So it feels like a bowl. And honestly, this texture isn't terrible for this. For what I'm going for here. I might even just go with these default textures. I might do something where it's like shiny, like it's wet, you know? I think I need to put something at the edge, and that's about it. But this isn't too terrible. Let's see, those high points, I need to see if I can match that kind of texture and color. But this with some trees in it, you know, and then some other like rocks and stuff like that for more detail isn't terrible. I think I don't like that there's some desert randomly poking through right there, so either I'll have to adjust the desert, or I'll have to adjust this up some more. But yeah. And then I need to blend that lip, which might be doable like this. Turn off the snapping. Do the just... Oh yeah. Why is it still snapping? What the heck? Okay. Very weird. Yeah, it's definitely still snapping sometimes. Weird. Okay, that's a new bug I haven't seen before. So I think I want some of the edge to be dirt or rock before it transitions back into the desert. That way it's like, yeah, this is why it hasn't, why the dirt and the grass isn't growing in that direction very well anymore. It's because, during the terraforming, is because of the, like these rocks have stopped it, you know what I mean? I also don't like that that's poking through there, so we are going to adjust it a little bit further back. I do like this sort of curve here. Feels like the mud is sort of gathering up there. It's a good, like I keep calling it, a good, you know, what do you call it? A good primer before the paint. Okay, so if this was like falling into here and then being saturated into the ground, then this ground would be shiny. So, if we do this dirt and switch it to mud, then it will automatically be shiny. Let's see, which one is the best? Oh, I think there's grassy mud. That's what I'll probably do. Mud, grass. I don't appreciate how sometimes the texture gets stretched on these. But, what can you do? Okay, and then the rocks, we're going to go with a more of a gray. Okay, I think they need to be, for some reason, shiny, like on the terrain. That they just, for some reason... Why is the roughness... it's doing the same thing that the other thing was doing. Okay, so I have to back out, go back in, and then set it to a value. And then if I don't like that, I have to back out and go back in. Oh. Nope. Apparently, I did that wrong. I did 4. That's weird. I'm aware that in the game, in you know, modeling, you don't ever really change the roughness. It's either full or it's not, because it's just, that's just the way it is. But let's see. I don't think I'm going to match those rocks perfectly, and the weird stretching of the textures is going to be something I'm going to hide underneath, like foliage, like grass and stuff anyway. So maybe I should go for something more of a mud, or something to that effect. River bottom. Let's do no color, and not force that on. Source value. Is that supposed to be gray, or is it doing that thing it was doing on the other side of the map too? Because over on the other side of the map, I was having this trouble where all of the textures came out gray for some reason. Yeah, I'm beginning to think this is not supposed to be grayed out. Let's see. Yeah, mud dry is not supposed to be gray. Oh, it's the scratches, isn't it? It's damage to the material. Let's see. Grime amount. Nope, not that. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and do some mud here for the grime amount, because that tends to unify the shape of, or like the textures and everything really nicely. And if I do a different mud than the ones I already have there, then it'll kind of pile on top of it. Not mud dry, but we'll try mud C. That looks really nice. It's a very nice wet effect. I still don't like that, that this is just grayed out. And that all of the options are just gray. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, I think I need to pick a color. Like, let's say, we'll go with brown, right? And then get out and come back in, and then switch to this one and switch back. Or, well, switch to that one, get out, deselect it, come back in, go over to brown. Okay, so that's how you get around it. That's also too brown. And I need to change. I don't understand why it's also white. Let's see. Okay, well maybe a deep green would be the way to go, because it's like so bright. Kind of is, and now it kind of looks like mosses growing in an area that otherwise has a very grassy kind of effect. So that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. It has sort of different shades of green, like this rock. And then we just put some foliage down on top of it. You know what I really need to do at some point? It's some point I need to very boringly go through, not on stream, but very boringly go through all of the terrible folder. You know, I haven't been sorting anything, and I need to start selecting stuff and putting them into the correct areas, because it's pretty abysmal how I've got it set up. Let's see. It also occurs to me that right over here I was hoping to do a swamp terrain coming down from there, and I'm thinking that's not really possible anymore because the effects are all, you know, overabundant and freaking each other out. So unless the effects are going to get fixed at some point before the end of this design, you know, then I'm kind of screwed. Okay, so what's some good grass? That's grass dry, grass red. What's the best grass, everyone? Maroon flower, lavender flowers would be cool to have somewhere. Let's see, mushroom patches, natural grass, there we go. And that's a 30 by 30. That's the biggest one you can do. What is playing right now? What is this? Oh, it went out of my playlist. That was weird. It was a Halo 2 anniversary playlist. Fortunately, it was actually Halo. Or else that would be no good. I have it set to random, and yet it is not doing that. So that's a little weird. Okay, there we go. Let's see, leafy shrub. Okay, here we go. Leafy shrubs mixed with natural. Show your Discord. Okay. Before I go back into it, see. Okay. Okay, what is this? That's pretty cool. And a nice little temple with a golden elite on the cross. Is that like Thel in a manner of speaking, since he was a golden elite and he was sort of turned into the Arbiter to sort of sacrifice him in a manner of speaking. Thel is a very Jesus-like character. Let's see. Yeah, it's Thel. Let's see. Okay, so the good thing about this hill, right, is that I can actually make my grass disappear into the edge, and it will look like the grass is just ending there because that hill is just sort of like eating it up. So that corner can be clipped into it, and it'll feel like a very round setup. But then, and all I have to do is like something like that, right? And then I can put a little bush right there, right at the edge, or a rock. Rock might make more sense, right there. But anyway, and then I can come over here and sort of lead that down this way, and do the same thing here, where I just let it clip into the desert. And then it creates a sort of natural-looking, sort of rounded shape to it. Definitely too high. That's, needs to be tilted this way, it looks like, to do that. Maybe this way. So I'll go up that hill right there. It's going a little into the desert, a little farther than I wanted. So I think I gotta bring it back down. And maybe just let it go around that part of the rock there, the part of the terrain. In which case I could probably just do this and make it do that. Okay, there we go. Then I can preserve more of my grass. Kind of wish that they had like a round grass as well. Let's see. Okay. Let's see, that one. And then do some grass like that. Oof, that is hovering very badly. I think if I bring it over and tilt it, then I can go more like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, basically, the terrain is rough, so I want grass on it, right? I'm thinking about building an ancient Pueblo town inside the cliffs in Mortality, but in a different island. Sounds pretty cool to me. So what I was thinking was, like, okay, so what I'm doing here is, my mentality on this is that the terrain is rough, so it's got all these bumps and stuff, and my palette for plants and stuff like that is limited to, like, squares and things like that. So what I'm doing is, as I'm saying, okay, well, I'm going to let the palette, I mean this here, dictate where my grass is. Once I have my grass in, I'm going to find there areas like this that don't look any good, or like, you know, over here that looks like the grass would grow up here, except for that there's something wrong, or this little hole here, and then I'm going to say, okay, that's where I'm going to put my bushes, because while, you know, they're kind of like cover, they're not really. They don't really provide any sandbox benefit, not any major sandbox benefit anyway. So I can easily just say, no, don't worry about, you know, how it affects the sandbox, how it affects like the cover in the area, and then the rocks that I put in, I can then put actual rocks that are going to provide real cover for players to control where the what the actual gameplay is like. You know what I mean? So grass first, then the other stuff. Hello from PC. Hey, you're on your laptop now? Very nice. You should give a PC gaming a try, just a little bit. Not, of course, right this second, because you're wanting to watch the stream on the PC, so you can chat. But I just mean in general. Let's see. I think that would be really cool. I think to do this area, I used to, like, I always played some PC games, like StarCraft and Warcraft were on PC, and I always played those. And the Total War series. But usually, like, up until Halo Master Chief Collection came to PC, I basically only played RTSs on PC. Every other game I played, RPGs, first-person shooters, you know, platformers, literally everything was on console, with exclusively, you know, just RTSs on PC, pretty much, and then emulators, which I haven't played an emulator in so long. Used to emulate Pokemon all the time, though. Anyway, for example, because then you can have more than one save file. You can, you know, save state in the middle of a fight with somebody, or, like, you know, and be able to stop playing and all that kind of stuff. It was so much superior to do that. But then I would own the Pokemon and then also emulate it, so I'd have more than one save file. But yeah. But ever since Master Chief Collection came to PC, that all changed. Now I own a lot of games on PC, and I've played all sorts of different kinds of games. Mostly multiplayer games. And board games, actually. I've gotten a lot of board games on PC. But that was during COVID. When I was like, yeah, I still want to be able to play board games with my friends. But I can't because, you know, COVID. Let's see. Looking good. There's some areas devoid of grass, some areas that have them. And I can fill in the gaps between them. Make it look really nice. And where they overlap is actually going to just put extra thick grass, which is kind of cool to have that in some areas versus others where it's not. The audio is so weird. Classic laptop sound. Oh, is it like... It's like really like choppy kind of? Like, or like tenor? not very bass, because I could definitely imagine that. I'm sure I've got a very deep voice, so that, not super deep, but a fairly deep voice. So I imagine I sound very different on there if it's got like if it has like no like extra bass or anything like that. So yeah. If you hook up headphones, though, that'll bypass that. If you feel like using headphones. Let's see, ground cover quality, the distance of rendering foliage, rocks, and other. Yeah, I'm gonna set that back up to ultra. Effects quality, decal quality, animation quality, terrain quality. Enables higher detailed terrain geometry, increases quality at further distances. Yeah, I'll do that. Simulation. Oh, flocking quality. That could be ultra. Async compute. Question is if these count as flocking or if they're just a forge object. Texture filtering, quality presets. Let's go to high. Ooh, that's a big impact apparently. I'll leave texture quality at medium for now. And I'll figure out off stream if that's gonna like cause problems for me. Reflections can apparently be high. Depth of field can be high. Yeah, a lot of my stuff I could have gone to high with easily. Cloud quality, high. I think that they multiply against some of these, so like the texture quality probably is going to be... I'll leave... It says the setting is changed, requires a restart of the game to take effect, so I'm just going to leave that as high, and then whenever I restart the effect, whenever I restart the game next, I'll see if it affects the game. But yeah, I was hoping the render distance of foliage thing that I just changed would actually improve this, so you can kind of see it slowly fade in on the grass, but that'll also be helped by trees and other bushes and stuff like that blocking view of the grass, so that should work just fine. This is like in Unreal, not Unreal, in Unity. I mean, in Unity I would have struggled to get around this as well because the LOD distance, I'd have to figure out how to make it variable, to make it to where you can change the distance based on which object you're doing. Like I know how to do it to where, you know, each object has its own, you know, cull distance, for example. Like this grass sort of slowly starts to fade as you get further away, like it's hitting an LOD layer, where just like it's rendering it smaller. It's rendering it with fewer pixels basically until it's gone. But like the LOD shift of those objects there I could have set, but then if I wanted to make this rock and another of the exact same rock have different LOD distances, that would be like nearly impossible. As far as I'm aware, I don't know how to do it. I'm sure there's, you know, you can get into the engine code, so I'm sure there's some way to like go in there and really change it, but I've never really... Let's see, okay, well I have to restart the laptop if it responds. Okay. Oh. Is there something wrong with the laptop? Did it just suddenly stop functioning? Because that sucks. If so. Did it suddenly... Let's see, what's the hotkey combo for the power menu? That's a really good question. Oh, you can do it, just Alt Control Delete. If you... Here, let me see if it'll do this on stream. I don't know. I'm not going to power it. That wasn't... Okay. No? Oh, here we go. You've got lock, switch user, sign out, task manager, but in the lower right corner you'll have the power button. So if you do Alt Control Delete, that menu will appear. And that should work. I don't know if there's a button that just straight up restarts your computer. But, yeah. There might be a key, a sort of like combo that'll just straight up reset your computer, but for now that should work, yeah. Okay, so this corner and that corner are over a hill that goes from that corner to there, so it's going to be pretty much impossible to get this one to angle between those 2 points. So instead, I'm going to rotate it. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to rotate it this way. Wasn't the direction I intended, but... And, oh, you can just scale it. Oh, man. Can't believe I didn't do any of this with scaling. That's so obvious. I've been working with effects for so long that I forgot that you can just scale pretty much everything else, including this. Might be a little much because it's gonna affect the thickness of the blades of grass, and that'll be really weird looking. Let's get this away from putting grass into that desert Let's see. That looks fine. I guess I could put like a rock over here or something to hide that those are growing in the sand. Ooh, but also it is not correctly angled, which means I need to bring it lower too. There we go. Perfect. Okay. We're close enough to perfect. Now this overlap doesn't need to be... Oh, I guess it does actually, and apparently this is going into the ground a little much. There we go. That's more correct. Okay, and then I can put, yeah. Yeah, that's actually in a good spot, I think. Yeah, okay. And then we're going to tilt this. Just wanted growing some grass. Watching the grass grow, as they say. Probably making this stream a little boring by just doing this, but once we get that, oop, that wasn't supposed to happen. Whenever we get the trees in here and the bushes, it's gonna look really nice. I think what I also need to do soon is put some weapon pads in various places and start like really like sort of blocking it out mechanically. So that we can all see what I'm doing with the plan here. You know, this area where it's like hill, I could theoretically, why is it not letting me just go up? Make the grass taller, where it wraps over a hill like this, and then that would give the effect like some little thin grass is poking through, and then the long grass is around it. A little bit of an overgrown effect, without needing to place like too many grass objects. And then I could do a little bit of a taller one here. It's not as tall, but tall enough to not look weird whenever they're side by side. And then do this one a little bit taller as well. But again, not just tall enough to not look too weird whenever they're side by side. And then the next one over can be taller, but not as tall as that, until it kind of blends the ones that are weird in with the ones that are not as weird. And it feels right, you know? Also kind of makes it more impactful that the grass is here at all. Because over here it just feels like almost like ground texture. And it seems to not disappear as much either. So I kind of like that. I'm going to make this side taller as well, and I'm going to make it fairly significant, and that way it will render at a farther distance before disappearing, because it's not using like regular LOD for these, it's using something else. I'm noticing like the way these work is like per pixel, it's like deteriorating, so that it doesn't have to render it as much. But like it's not like regular LOD where it's like replaces a 3D model with a simpler 3D model, you know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. It's surprising. I think I can probably just scale this one that way and make it go down there, because there's a fairly flat area of the terrain. And I could probably do the same with this one. Make them overlap a little better. That should look pretty good. That's what I did for Waterworks Remake, so when you get on top of Pump, you can still see the grass on the red side. Yeah. It's about like render distance. See, that looks much better. The hill looks like a grassy hill now. I feel like this one needs to be a little bit shorter base, because I definitely overdid that one. It's a lot nicer. Whenever you look down, you see muddy grass. Okay. Is this corner poking up? Yeah, it is. Okay. So I need that to go a little bit more like this. And then I could theoretically stretch it out bring it up a little bit, I think. Nope, gotta go back down. And then maybe stretch... Ooh, that one's going that way. Okay, stretch this one out to go this way. And fill in the hole between the two of them. So that looks a little bit more like that. Yeah. Very grassy area. Oh, a very grassy hill. What did I just duplicate twice? Yeah, let's not do that. Did not even mean to duplicate that once, much less twice. Okay, I think I can actually scale this one this way as well. And it'll go up to the edge of that hill there. And float just ever so slightly, so I'm going to need to tilt it. And then this one can come down from that hill. Looks nice. Grass LOD pop-in is kind of weird. I know, right? So you gotta like put other bushes that'll like make it look less weird. This area is so smooth as it goes down that I think I can just do a lot of grass going all the way down it. On each side of this one little lump in the middle, I can just sort of stretch it out a whole lot without being too aggressive with the messing up the blades of grass and making them thicker. Oof, that corner is really heavily floating. I think I've got to tilt that a little more like this. Big oof, as they say. There we go, that's a little bit better. More like, you know, screen's definitely not D65, but that's the sRGB volume on the screen itself, I bet. I don't know how to change actual color values on PC. Good question. Color values on PC. I actually don't know. If you go into display settings, then that might be where it would be, which is like, if you right click on your desktop, and then you just sort of, it'll have options for, one of them will be display, one of them will be like background or whatever, and just go to display, and you should be able to set stuff in there for a lot of stuff, but I don't know about the other, I don't know about the display because it's usually an RGB slider. Yeah. That might be in a more complex setting area then, because that's definitely nothing that's in there. You would think that being able to program would mean I would also know computers super, super well. But that's something I haven't tried to do before, so that indicates how much I actually know about computers. Nice grassy field in the middle of a desert, which doesn't make any sense because it's 400. Okay, I don't like how flying vehicles are just going to see this muddy wreck instead of a grassy field, and maybe I need to change it to be less muddy, more grass. Like maybe I should set that to muddy grass, and then this should just have bright green grass, you know what I mean? Because then that would, like if I switch this to like an actual green color, to match the, grass that's growing, I'm gonna have to match it, and then, yeah, I think it's this one. But then I've gotta, oh wait, I've gotta go in and set it to the one right next to it, and then come out and go back in, and then set it to the actual one. No, that's too bright. It's gotta be one of the darker ones, like down here. Oh, I haven't gone out and back in yet, that's why it's, okay, back out, and come back in. That's almost the same color as it was before. Yeah, see, maybe I shouldn't be adjusting color and should just pick a different grass. And hopefully it's already the correct color, because they would know. They colored it in the first place. They would know how to color correct, right? That one's weird. Sometimes I didn't understand the swatches before this bug occurred. Sometimes, like sometimes they just did not make any sense how they looked. See, I got it. Give me a sec. Cool. I guess it's because that would be a monitor setting. So I'm on desktop, so my monitor settings are in my monitor. So that's probably why why I'm not thinking about it, or why I've never done that before. Now that I think a little bit more about it, you know. That's probably why I did not have an answer for you. Yeah, so the best looking one I think is this one as far as color is concerned, because at least it's green and then you get closer and it's still green. It's a slightly wrong green, maybe a little too bright. Maybe if I bring this to 80. That didn't change. Oh, not 80, 0.8. That did help. That's a little closer. Okay, well, and then I can change my dirt layer to my grime layer to muddy grass, and it can become a whited out piece of crap. What is happening? This was happening the other day. Or it was happening whenever I did the mud over here, and it's still not there. I had to turn the mud off completely over there. That effect completely off over there. I don't understand what's happening. It's the transparency is failing. That white is a transparency. Is it because this is also set to muddy grass? No, that didn't fix anything at all. Mud bumpy. I don't know what they did to their tool set. Like, everything's messing up. I got it. Okay, let me know if you guys have a solution for this, because this is pretty crazy. Also, the stretching. I hate the stretching. The texture stretching might be because I scaled it. So, like, it was... Oh, you can't undo scale, so maybe I should duplicate this first and then do it there. You know, it's obviously supposed to be taller. So yeah, the stretching is less pronounced whenever it's taller. Yeah, it looks pretty good whenever it's taller. But then whenever you do it shorter, it starts to become like a weird stretching effect. If you shrink it... no, that's just making it work better because it's not as big around. Yeah. I think the texture is just going to either stretch or I need to make it taller to fix it. In which case I'd have to redesign all of my grass, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I think it's just going to have this stretching, because you can't see it from up here because of LOD. And then whenever you're up close, it'll be hidden under the grass. Player can find little spots like this, I'm sure. But for the most part, you're going to be worrying about your objective and the enemy is shooting at you, so hopefully that's not too big of a deal. A lot of people will not even notice because they'll just be so busy looking at the pretty trees that are going to be here. You know? And I could either put a rock on top of some of those, or I could place the trees directly on them, and then people will be looking up at the tree whenever they're around those spots instead of looking down at the ground. And if they try and examine the tree to see how it was made, they might, to see how Aaron made them, they might go, okay, I want to look down at the ground and see how they did the roots or something like that, and then boom, that's whenever they'll notice it. But, you know, that won't be the end of the world. But yeah. That looks really wonky. Oof. Wait, let me scale this a bit. Move it this way. I think this could probably go all the way down the hill. And even rotate a bit to be more in the green area. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Okay. And then we can do this. Tilt it just, oh, wrong direction. Tilt it just a bit this way so that kind of avoids the rock there. So that kind of has a sort of effect like it's actually only growing in the grassy area. And then that will give us a nice setup. So how's the laptop working out? Is it doing good for you? Mainly asked because you had asked me about it whenever you're thinking about buying it, so I feel a little bit responsible for if it ends up being bad. Oof, that's poking through over there very heavily. I gotta do this alongside that wall so that I can keep it from poking through over there while still using this direction. Okay, there we go. And it's a little bit wrong here. It's kind of poking up through the metal. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to make this one a little bit shorter to sort of reduce that, right? And then I'm going to put something like a rock right here or some kind of like muddy terrain that will sort of poke up out of it. It's also poking in right there, which... that's fine, I guess, because there's dirt there, but this area, not so much. And obviously, it's not perfectly fine. So I need to adjust it, but... that could be easily adjusted like that, actually, and disappeared out of there. There we go. Okay, so we've got a grassy hill. This area looks a little strange. Mainly because of the whiteness of it and the dirt there. I think I'm going to have to turn off the grime, which it sucks because it was working earlier and I don't understand why it stopped. Why it stopped functioning, but that definitely looks better than it did a second ago. Is it muddy? Let's see. I am selecting something wrong. Oh, I'm selecting this prefab. There we go. So, I've got mud, grass B, and mud C. Okay, I think I want to change mud C to muddy grass again. And that'll look a little bit better. I'm going to put some rocks down here. This is still a rocky hill, so there would be some pebbles that fell down. Alright, so we've got all of our grass. Now I gotta know what would grow out of this little grassy hill. Would this be something that where this would grow? Where some of these, you know, acacia trees would grow? Or is that a little too green for acacia? Would we want to go with something even more green since it's a weird pocket of the area? So, prefabs. We've got birch. It would be interesting to have birch tree autumns. Those lights, you can't put that as a in the arena, right? That's what you're saying? Like they look really cool, but don't put them in the arena. because of the way that it will affect it'll actually shine lights on players, and players will be able to get up close and all sorts of stuff, or is that an okay thing to do, Aaron? That's my question. Because I was just thinking, what if I put an autumn tree up here, right? Or something to that effect. Maybe not right here, but like something to this effect. Where it's like, yeah, the maybe like right in here. It's like, okay, all good, I'm back now. Cool, cool, cool. I was just about to ask you a question. I was sort of already asking the question, but I wasn't, because I wasn't sure if you were here or not. So I was thinking about putting a autumn. Oh, what I was going to ask you was about the autumn trees and the lights that are on them, right? If I come up here and I'm able to get really close to it, is that a no-no? Was way too blue out of the box. Oh yeah, blue light. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm so not used to really blue screens anymore because of the blue light filters and stuff like that that I've turned on. I actually have blue light glasses. I should probably have been wearing the entire time I've been streaming. Supposedly, that helps with eye strain. Look at that. I have some volumetric fog, but it's set to 0.1%, so I think it's fine. This looks okay. And it's, you know, kind of a foggy area of the map anyway. This is how I should probably be streaming, to be honest, is with my blue light glasses. Like, beginning of COVID, we were like, we need to get some blue light glasses so we can, so my wife could work from home and stuff like that. But like, I was thinking it'd be kind of cool to have a birch up there that's an autumn tree, right? It's an autumn birch. And then have regular birches down here, right? So that it's kind of like this birch tree goes through seasons very differently from the rest because it's so close to this artificial area. So I asked where the color balance thing was. You don't need blue light filter or glasses if your screen's set up properly, which I've just done. Yeah, I think I've got sort of properly, but yeah. I matched my screen to my OLED in terms of RGB. Nice. I don't have OLED, I think. Let's see, birch tree cluster. That would be a good one to put over here because it's one of those you can like put in the ground and make them look like there's more than one. Ooh, let's angle that. I guess I should rotate that by world, not by objects. Let's see, I did want to put one up here, actually. This might be where I put the cluster. World rotation, that way it stays like that. Kind of like the idea of it poking out away from the ledge. And providing almost like it's a line of sight cover here. Obviously the bullets will go through, but you can at least throw off your opponents like you'll have an LED screen. Yeah, I definitely have an LED screen. Yeah. Hold on, Windows needs an update. Of course. Oh, it's gonna have like 6 or 7 updates probably. Way more than that. It's gonna be like, it's gonna have like 30 updates or something. Okay, so these are gonna be the basic trees, and then around that, let me do 2 autumn trees like it's supposed to happen. Or a cluster of them maybe. Like it's not an accident, you know what I mean? I don't know if I want this right on the river or not. Because that would be a little odd. Definitely don't want it angled the exact same way as these trees are down here whenever they're both the clusters at the same time, you know what I mean? Maybe a cluster is too much. Let's just do another birch tree autumn, and then by rotating it and leaning it, it'll look a little different from that one, and making it a little shorter. Whoop. But yeah, lean it a bit. Actually, I feel like it would lean toward the river and the sunlight over there. Maybe not there. I don't know if I like it right at the river. even though would probably like to grow there. I think I want a tree up here. Like right where it transitions. As if there might be some nice fertile ground and the moisture is making it, you know, grow a bit right there. In which case I can tilt it a little more like that. And then some rocks around it will make it look really nice and pretty. Let's see, where can we find more birch trees? I think you have the... Let's see. Or actually, I think I want more than one kind of tree here. Just one update. Okay, cool. Like the longleaf pine was really cool for making those shadows. So I might go ahead and put them here. So whenever you're down here in the, like trying to capture this point, and you're moving around up this hill, and there are targets up on that hill, like I was saying before, it will put that shadow right in your face and be really cool. And then the glowing outline around the enemy will make it to where that doesn't blind you. Because, you know, that's just kind of the whole purpose of those, isn't it? Those outlines. Oh, this is the same one as the other one. Longleaf pine 1. There we go. Just going to place one of each here. Make them sort of growing at their own angles. And then you'll just be like really engaging targets up there and getting that nice effect. I think I'm going to separate this one out so that you'll actually be looking at the target between them and have a higher chance of getting that cool lighting effect as you're shooting at people up there. You see what I mean? Not sure what I'm going to do on this side with that kind of thing. If it's lava, then I don't have to worry about it because the lighting of the lava will be coming up and being the dynamic stuff. And up here I could just imply the cold vacuum of space with some objects. I'm not quite sure what yet, but yes. Question, how do I set 12-hour clock instead of 24? Oh, that would be if you go down and click on your clock, right-click on your clock actually, adjust date and time. Actually, here's a setting right here. You can be like, where is it? Change the date and time, synchronize. I'm not sure. It should be in here. Don't show additional calendars. I don't see it. Something in here. Anyway, date and time regional formatting, add clocks for different time zones, setting up date and time in Windows. It's going to be in one of these areas. Might be in region. No. Let's see. I don't know. Something like that. But it'll be in those settings basically there. So that'll be, if you look around in there, you'll find it. That's the important thing. So now I need some smaller... boy, that ate up a lot of my... I might have to delete one of these. Ate up a lot of my simulation memory. Like you were saying, I really do need to... you were saying this earlier, I really do need to... what do you call it? Finish up the block out of the dynamic object buildings, because they're going to be the most expensive on the palette, on the budget, and I need to figure out what I'm doing there before I need to finish that up before I move on to other stuff, I think. But stuff here could be deleted. Actually, you know what? This one doesn't feel especially right anyway. I like the idea of this being a valley. You feel like you want to enter rather than breaking it up with something. Like that feels a little bit better. Like this is an entry point. You know what I mean? For this direction. Let's check this direction. This direction has advantage of height, so I want to imply, listen, you're gonna want to go up this path. So this is a way to go, but the advantage here is not the height advantage. This is where you have better cover. So coming over this ridge here, I do want to imply that there's going to be cover by having those trees there. So I do actually like the way that's set up for both of them. Now I just need to put in some smaller stuff, bushes. That was only like 1% difference, but it was, so it's not like I was doing that for budget. I feel like that was actually level design. But yeah. So if I do like rocks alpine, I can get these nice gray rocks. But if I do rocks wetland, I can do some really covered rocks, which would be interesting to have around here in this sort of muddy terrain, especially if I mix it in with this sort of ramp one that I had created. And actually, this doesn't need to be as big anymore, because I wanted it to be like a ramp on one side, and then like a sort of difficult terrain on the other to climb up. Like you have to clamber. Like you could come this way, maybe. Yeah, it's not bad. And you can come this way, so that's not bad at all. I think I like that. But then in the middle, which I've been doing a lot of, middle is difficult to get up. You can obviously, you know, crouch jump it, but it didn't even have a clamber point. Middle's difficult, straight up this path, side. Middle's difficult, side. And middle is difficult, side. So, yeah, that's kind of like a theme running here, is that there is a blocker straight through, but both teams has a path up. And then, of course, you know, grapple shot and repulsor can get you up there. Man, what's with this lag? I think maybe my graphics, increasing the graphics like I did, is causing some kind of effect. But I am getting the waterfall at least. It's creating lag here. The waterfall was loading in, but now I'm getting lag. Oh, I wonder if it's the lighting of those two autumn trees. There's so many different lights in the area that it's having to render, like a lot, that I might have to just do the one birch tree instead of two, because that'll reduce the, Is this a birch cluster? I think I did a birch cluster here. I did, and I just put it up like it was a tree instead of a cluster. I see, that's why there's so many lights here. I might need to do the single birch here. If that's the problem. It might be that. You got it. Okay, cool. Or well, you said I got it, but like you did. Anyway, the point is, let's see. I think I need to find... I think I like the idea of one of these rocks being somewhere as like a little jump point. Like a little cover / area to sort of leap into action with. And if it was like coming up out of the ground, feel very natural, and since it's covered in grass, who knows, maybe this rock is that kind of gray, you know what I mean, since it's covered in this moss. But yeah, that gives you a little bit of a that gives the attacker, the opposer side, you know, a little bit of a way to, like, they can come up here straight away to get to their objective and be out in the open, or they can take a little bit of a detour here, have a little more cover, and then leap into action, which is pretty good. I think that's equivalent to this thing, but this is way bigger, gives you way more cover, lets you jump straight into this and start taking the area, and I think that it's a, you know, favored toward the side that whose base this is on, you know. Let's see. So that's pretty good. Okay. Now the question is about bushes. Is this like too much grass? Is that what's going on with this lag, you think? Let's see, pine bush. Is this an actual tiny pine? Is that what the idea is? Or is this supposed to be a bush that grows around pines? Ooh, that's the same kind you use for those tree leaves. So maybe I shouldn't use that one right beneath it, because that will... I think leafy bush might be the better bet for these. Because that'll be like repeating the pattern that's up inside the tree, which will make the tree feel weird. And I don't want to throw off the tree. But this bush here works out just fine to make it feel a little bit like a good spot. Okay, Windows update. Then I'll be charging laptop, because I only did it to like 30% when I set it up. So this is this is a good line of sight breakage. You can sort of hide in here. And you can do so right after coming out of here, for example. So if I put something up here that's like anti-vehicle, it would be a good way to hide from like incoming, you know, incoming warthogs and their gun turrets. But yeah. Yeah, it's pretty normal to have to, you know, recharge brand new batteries and stuff like that. So that makes sense. I think you're supposed to, if you ever buy anything, you're supposed to recharge it to 100% right out of the box. Or else you can have some trouble in the end, in the long term. But that's not, you know, 100% necessary, I don't think. Okay, I think I'm going to do bush D again. Because there's 2 of them here, and I can make a single bush D work for both of them. Just like I did on the other side, except for this time I'm going to put the bush sort of right on the tree, with its like low spot right inside the trunk, and then put these around the outside, which will give me a little bit of variation from the other side, rather than having the clearing spot be where the trees were growing. It also kind of makes a cool spot right between all this grass where there's a clearing, because like all the light is being blocked there, so the grass just doesn't grow there very well. I kind of like that. And then this one, I'm going to put a rock by it, because I want there to be a rock here anyway, because it is up high. I think instead of alpine, let's do the wetlands, so we can have more of that sort of natural boulder stuff going on. See, also swapped over from chrome to edge. Oh yeah, I prefer chrome, but yeah, I think edge is getting more and more efficient for Windows by the year, basically. So I don't blame you. Let's see, since Chrome uses unnecessary amounts of RAM just to load the home page. Yeah, I currently, for example, have Chrome open right here with an enormous number of tabs because I'm ridiculous. I don't know if you can see all that, but I've even got some in these that I haven't looked at in months. Maybe a year with some of them. And I just leave them open so I can get back to them whenever I remember to do that. It's a thing that it's one of the many things that I say is a symptom of ADHD and probably shows that I almost certainly have it. But haven't gotten diagnosed yet. It's kind of madness. Okay, so this desert sand would definitely kill moss. So I'm going to put it really close, but have a reasonable gap. And then the fact that that's stone, right? That's, you know, it's going to make it feel a little bit like... Yeah, the sand wouldn't necessarily be killing this one. But also, I might put a little bit of... Do they have desert? They have desert rock, but it's... That's right, we went over this. Desert rock looks like sandstone. Very different from the basic rocks that come with the desert biome. But this thing I can use. If I do this, I could theoretically have it inherit... If I can angle it away where it actually inherits anything. Ah, we're in one of those spots where there's like no inheritance. I'd have to make it a little bit bigger. Sort of make it inherit some of it at least. And then I could... Actually, that's not bad. That inherits a decent amount there. Yeah. Looks like a decent transition on that side. And then I need another one for this side. To make it feel like it's the same kind of rock that's sort of, you know, going out in both directions, and maybe this part is rising up out of it. I think maybe I need a better transition there, though, because that's now looking a little wonky. Like, I need something that will make it look like rounded like that. Okay, just need a high visual jacket now. With your glasses and headset combo, it looks like you're working on a construction site. Just need a high vis jacket. Oh yeah, that would work. Mm-hmm. Oh, that might provide me what I'm looking for. See these little bumps here? I turned it around. These little bumps will kind of create a little bit of a different transition up out of it than it was getting before. So even though some of the areas, like that area, I'm using this bump coming down from this rock to blend in with that one. Then we've got some bumping out. And it kind of gives the effect like, yeah, this is probably the same kind of stone, just covered in moss and things like that. So you have a bit of a height advantage there. And I also want to definitely do wetlands. There's a rock near the bottom, not in the stalactites, but rock group. This one. It's rock group B. Okay, I guess it kind of looks like multiple rocks. Whenever I passed through that one quickly, I don't think I ever looked at the fact what its name was, and I believe that I always thought of that one as a column and not a rock group. But yeah. Here we go. Put a little bit of a stone here supporting the other one, implying that it won't fall down necessarily right away because we'll slide downhill anytime soon. Because it has some support. And by merging it a little bit together, it kind of makes it look like the moss is kind of hiding the crack between the two rocks, I feel like. Oh yeah, it's getting late, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I gotta get going. But we have a bit of a wetland here. We've got our cool little where the waterfall is falling in. And we got some trees from Aaron. Some really cool trees set up. You're fighting up this hill. You know, I kind of gave them cover here, and now that people are gonna be there and not over there more as often. So this is good for this side, but I might need to, maybe what I'll do is I'll move that tree. I'll leave 2 over here and put 1 over here, so that if you're fighting people up there, you'll get this effect. Or maybe I can put just a 4th one over here. And then if you're but if you're fighting that person, I want there to be, I guess this is kind of here. Yeah, actually that is hitting that one. So maybe it's getting to, like, people using that cover, you're not going to be able to get as close. I think you might engage them from this direction. So maybe you've got that tree doing a kind of cool effect. Yeah, I got this hill going pretty nicely, I would say. I like it. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. And then for now, this area is going to stay like this. I'm going to probably upgrade it later. But for now, I think this is blocked out enough. I'm probably going to need some rocks. And like down here, the transition into the sand is not done. Like, I'm going to need some more rocks for cover and stuff like that. But it'll be really cool whenever you claim this, and then suddenly you get respawn points around this area. Because that's what's going to happen with these. They're going to activate respawn points in the area you capture them in. Or rather, they're going to activate... Ooh, it's not Will Forge anymore. Will Build. Yes, it's Will Build. Just need a high vis jacket now. Yeah, that would be kind of funny if I was like... That's like a Dr. Disrespect level of, like, costuming. If I was, like, I have a hard hat. It has my grandfather's name on it because he used it during, he worked in a plant. But, like, I could put a hard hat on, have the headphones, you know, put the headphones up over the hard hat, put on a high visibility jacket, the glasses, put some pins in a pocket, you know, or on the neckline of the jacket. Go full-blown Dr. Disrespect for building things. Another option is I go full-blown Forge and dress in like I've got leather. I've got a leather apron, leather gloves. You know, I could do a full-blown you know, blacksmith, you know, outfit and costume up as a Will Forge at that point. But yeah. But since I'm always building maps, yeah, that would totally make sense. It would be goofy, but it'd be... But Dr. Disrespect is pretty successful with his. Who knows? Sorry, this is bothering me. I've got to do this really quick. This little light has been set to a point light, and it needs to be a spotlight, so that it doesn't light up the entire ramp around it. But yeah. I also haven't placed this on the other side yet. But yeah. So, that's looking cooler and cooler. This hill here is going to be interesting because I'm thinking this hill is going to be rocky, and like this part is not even going to be there. It's going to be more like this. But it's going to be like rocky and maybe some grass over here, maybe some dry desert grass or something like that. And then it's going to come down into that one, which I want to have full of water with the willow on it. Which would be cool if I can get that to work. The water effects are going to be nice because it won't require 2 shields. It will do 1 water effect, especially if they're running water, but who knows. Anyway, I'm starting to yabber on, but you can kind of see this is kind of what I'm going for. Do you think I should continue on? I know this doesn't look good yet, so don't assume that this is how it's going to look if I do this. But should I continue on with the idea of the lava versus the ice? You know, the fire versus ice across the map from each other. If I do, I'll have, like, you know, smoke and steam and stuff like that over here, and like possibly flowing lava, especially if they allow you to color the water whenever they add water, if they have flowing water. All of that, you know, I could potentially have some flowing lava somewhere. And put some things like, apparently the lightning ground effect, which is what I had here before. FX. There's electricity, I think. Sparks. Electric floor. This one, I'm not sure exactly how... Oh, there we go. It's starting to work. I was planning on having like plasma shooting around so the electric floor would work, and apparently it... Oh, it doesn't hurt you until you're in the game. That's what it was. Let me see if it's the one that hurts you then, by going over there. Because I know the fire hurts you whenever you walk into it, and I thought that was the case, and then it didn't hurt me, and I was like, that's weird, it should have hurt me. That, by the way, is a random thing I was messing with the textures on because of the texture bug, in case anybody's wondering why that's there. Oof. This area is so unpolished. Oh gosh, dude. Why can't I get up there? Okay, get on the vehicle, please. Okay. So now that's the electricity. And the electricity doesn't hurt me, but the fire does. Okay. So that's what I was wondering. I can put a kill ball to like slow... a damage ball instead of the kill ball. But yeah, the electricity being over here is kind of cool, I think. Kind of explains why it's still lava. And then we have the sparks up there. And it's going to be kind of like... Yeah, it's coursing into the ground in certain areas. Have some electricity back here. And be like, yeah, this plasma and electricity is melting the rock. Just from heat. Electricity, of course, would cause the rock to usually pop, but if it gets it to a certain temperature, it would just course into it and keep it as lava. But yeah, like pop and explode, basically. But anyway, I think, is this lava, is this fire low? I think I can probably bring it a little bit higher up. If I put another one over here. It's like, yeah, I've got too few effects. I'm going to add more. If I could scale them, then I would put a big enough one that would hurt you no matter, like, you know what I mean? Like, it would... Whenever you get into it, it would hurt you across the entire lava. But yeah. That's what I'm kind of going for. Plasma-created lava that also glassed the area, you know, over time. Like glassed all this sand over here. And then after that sand formed, since it's non-conductive, it was fine, you know. The heat formed it into this non-conductive solid state that keeps it, that sort of insulates the area away from that lava. So up here it'd be hot glass, but it wouldn't be melted yet. And then so that allowed new sand to fall onto it that won't melt and turn into new glass. So over time this area has become a glassed, you know, a very glassy you know, area. So I'm thinking about looking back. I'm back if you said anything. I don't know if you said anything. Oh, what I was saying was, do you like the idea, without assuming this is how it's going to look exactly, do you like the idea of the fire versus ice across the map, where like this broken one is plasma burning the area and like glassing it and melting things just by accident, being like, yeah, the Forerunner is so powerful, their damaged structures will do the effect of a freaking Covenant capital ship, you know, glassing the glassing beam. And then this area is where it's working as designed, and it's nice and peaceful and beautiful looking. But then over here, it looks all like horrific and lava ridden and stuff. And then I went and added, to give the effect, to explain it. This is nowhere near. This is still I still view this as like, you know, primer, not paint. So. But I did add some, to give an idea of what I was going for. I added this ground electricity coursing through above the lava, and a few more fire hits, so that if they'll render, you can see the fire. And the idea is that that's kind of what I was going for, is like this sort of electrically charged lava, where this thing is creating plasma that's still melting the rock in some areas, and creating this like foggy, you know, lit up area. I think I need to adjust this light, because I adjusted the other one, but I didn't adjust this one, so the fog is more visible. There we go. So it creates sort of a steam mist coming up out of there, and then the fire kind of effect of the light. But this is the kind of thing I was going for, is like, this is like, not really, it makes it look messy and clashes. Yeah, I mean, I was struggling to make it even, like... I know that, you know, these techniques over here I've learned from a lot of people, and from doing a little bit of Unity and stuff like that, so making a natural terrain and, like, you know, nice is one thing. Making it look like lava and glass is another thing, and I think what I would have to do is definitely create a giant, like, smoke cloud over here kind of thing. That would be like a gray, like, billowing smoke over here. And I would have to make it look like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I'd have to do over here to make it really sell the effect of the heat and the lava. I have some plans in another one I was doing lava in that I haven't even shown you guys yet. That kind of would work in that one, because it's got other things for it, but they wouldn't work here. Really hard to say. This thing looks like poo-poo. This is not going to be here. This is... it's like devouring that. There's no way I can even leave this here as like this. So if I did anything up here, it would probably be more like some more glassed rocks coming up here, or some like lava rocks coming up here first, and then like wrap them up over the top, and then have this desert sand going up to those, because the way this transition is happening is no good. Like, essentially I'd be doing something more akin to like a lava ledge like this, not literally this, because this would be, actually this isn't bad here, because the nice and flatness actually makes it look like it melted and reformed into a very flat surface, as lava would, because it would become like a liquid, so then it would, you know. But then like this can be a little lower and sort of come into the, as it, if I have like a ledge here, more akin to something like this, so that it doesn't clash so much, and create some good transitions here. Then kind of about envisioning the finished product, so I guess I am kind of asking you a trick question in a manner of speaking. But like I could do like, that looks pretty decent, how that kind of, the glass kind of comes out of that. And then having sand that sort of comes up to this will look really cool, because it'll go into those those like pockmark hole things, and like feel really cool, I think. Here we go. That's the direction I'm trying to tilt it, I think. And then you bring it down. Something like that, where like the sand will come up to lava rock, and the lava rock will hide, you know, glass, and then the glass will be like, and then I could put rocks up here that look like chunks of glass, like shards of glass sticking up out of the lava, or something like that, which might be kind of cool. So more akin to this visually. than what you see here, where it's like sand into the thing. You know what I mean? That's why I don't know what the map still is. Yeah, it's because it's kind of a very conceptual stage right now. I mean, I tried looking for some glassed planet images for from like Halo Reach and stuff like that to try and explain this kind of stuff. And whenever I did, I was like, nothing is like this. Nothing is glassed desert in any Halo so far. So they didn't look into the color of natural desert sand whenever it turns to glass. You know what I mean? So they don't have yellowy glass. They have like blackened, charred glass because it comes from, you know, a natural environment where all the plants burned in the plasma beam, so they end up turning into char and lava rock and stuff like that mixed. Whereas this is there's so much sand here. It's such a purified element. You would just see areas of just sand turned to glass. You know what I mean? But yeah, a good reference would be Outer Worlds. That's why I don't know what the map's. That's true. Outer Worlds does have some good ones. That's a good idea. Outer Worlds glass planet, maybe? I'll just have to look around, but I'm just going to search for that and see if that immediately pops up with anything. No, that's just coming up with globes made of glass. Let's say Outer World alien planets glass and see if that comes up. Nope, that's overwriting the Outer Worlds. Okay. Game. Outer Worlds game. There we go. It wasn't taking the Outer Worlds prompt. But you're right, Outer Worlds has a lot of like yellow terrain, so that would probably have some good ones. I'll go looking for that. That's not something I'm going to do sitting here on stream, just stroking my beard, looking at off into the middle distance, off screen. You know what I mean? That's a little weird. So, that would just be a lot of wasted stuff. Okay, so yeah. So I think I want to try a little bit harder to get to a point where I know whether or not this is good. And then I'll decide, I think. But yeah, I like this like blasted sort of effect here because like this area looks like it was almost splashing in the way the glass was forming. These areas are less impressive, but I feel like maybe a ground design is important. But I am noticing that the way that I set it up is I was working so hard to make it look good that I did not gamify it. You know what I mean? Like this area, lowland is this side, high side is that side, but there's a little bit of cover from hill, you know. But yeah, high side's that side, they get the high side, these guys get the low side. But then on the other side, I'm giving these guys kind of almost the high side. Once again, they have this side of the map has the high side, and that side now has the low side. So I've got to work out my my background desert. Probably to start off with, I will copy these hills to that side, so I know what the hills what the height of these hills need to be, and then I'll redesign them to look more unique so that the two sides aren't mirrors of one another. You know, this part looks kind of crappy, and I need to put like one of those rocks there or something. But yeah, basically, if I copy over that, I'll know exactly what this area needs to be roughly what this area needs to be, and that'll tell me how I can redesign this area to be less like this. But right off the bat, like this right here is too high, and that's too high, and I need to lower them. And that glass wasn't even visible anymore, practically. So like, you know, is it even necessary at this point? But like, yeah, that's about on par with the ledge there, so that's about the right height, I think. The grass over here is getting really close to the ledge as well. It pokes up a little bit, but there's a hill here, so I'm basically just shifting the hill up and over there on this side, which can be balanced against so that the two sides are basically equal. But yeah, okay, I gotta go. So yeah, a good reference would be Outer Worlds is a good tip. I think that's a great idea. So yes, I'll catch you guys later. Hopefully this texture thing is fixed, but at least we have a workaround now. Just back out of it, go back in, and then change the texture. Before you go, check the daily item. Oh, daily item? Like, in the store? Yeah, I can leave Forge real quick and check that. The Forge daily item. Let's see. I mean, yeah, the shop daily item is the word I'm looking for. Skinned Reflexes. Which one's the daily? That one. Strong Iris S7 Sniper. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I might get that. I have been wanting a cool sniper one that's a little different. Garbage. I mean, I like the... It's like a purpley blue. Okay, you can go now. Yeah. I do kind of like it. I might actually get that. But anyway, these are all very expensive. I do not understand where they get off selling an entire set. That's why I do not buy these. But, like, taste of what it looks like aside. $15 is insane. It's insane. Like, it doesn't make sense. I think that the gaming industry has gone insane lately. Like, I want to be able to buy like a dozen different skins so that I can switch and pick the ones that I want, but instead they're making it to where all I could afford is to pick one and buy it if I was going to buy one at all. You know what I mean? And yes, buddy, I know. Okay, I'm going to set you up, but I was going to do... Oh, I was going to check my thing. Anyway, I'll get off now. I'll catch you guys later. And, yeah.